Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. Prince Albert police say the cause of the fire that destroyed the Salvation Army building and a 35-person warming shelter on Christmas Day is still under investigation. The building was lost to a fire on Thursday evening. Fire crews were called before 8 p.m. and say they were able to limit the spread of damage to the neighboring buildings, but that the Salvation Army itself is likely a total loss. The building was operating as a temporary warm-up shelter but was not occupied at the time of the fire. Neighboring business owner Mike Horn says this is a hit for the downtown community.
We're just very, very grateful and thankful that they were able to prevent it from coming to us. And, on the flip side, it's devastation, with the Salvation Army and all the great work that they do.
A temporary warm-up shelter is now located at the Prince Albert Grand Council Urban Services Building until January 2nd. After a lawsuit filed by families impacted by the 2018 Humboldt Broncos bus crash was dismissed last week, the legal counsel representing the families says it plans to appeal the decision. The lawsuit was launched in 2018 against the province and the semi-driver, his employer, and the bus manufacturer, accusing negligence. The families seek to sue the province and hold government accountable for the condition of the intersection where the crash happened.
This case has never been about money. It's never been about compensation. It's always been about whether or not the government is going to be held accountable. It's how transparency is dealt with in our justice system. It's about whether or not the accountability can lead to safer roads, because without it, there's no incentive for change.
Fox says it may take a year to hear back from the Court of Appeal. CTV is waiting on a response from the province. The town of Outlook and surrounding communities were able to breathe a sigh of relief when turning on their taps last week after 8 days without water due to a suspected break-in at the Outlook water treatment facility. All advisories were lifted on December 23rd. The town has already approved security upgrades for the water facility in its next budget. It's encouraging other towns to consider doing the same.
We want to not only learn for ourselves, but we want to help other communities learn as well, and that's a piece of the bigger pie, right? Bigger picture, right? Is advocating that this doesn't happen to somebody else.
The investigation into the break-in continues. Anyone with information is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. Saskatchewan is about to see a brief warm-up after a cold Christmas.
Oh boy.
Environment Canada is forecasting temperatures just below zero in the next couple of days, but by Wednesday, the Arctic air is expected to return and we may see temperatures dip into the minus mid-teens. Over the weekend, Prince Albert saw up to 10 centimeters of snow, with wind chill dropping temperatures into the minus 30s. And if there was any thunder in the forecast, Jeff, I stole it, but we've still got a little bit of a snippet of weather coming out, don't we?
We certainly do. We've got ourselves, as you mentioned in that report there, we have a warm day today. We're going to be having a warm day tomorrow, albeit in some places we might still see a little flurry activity. And temperatures are going to be dropping throughout the afternoon tomorrow. But thereafter, we start to cool off as we head into 2026, and then ultimately sort of plateauing typically around where we would be at this time of January. So we'll talk about those details later on. Not a lot to talk about. We're keeping our eye on this little clipper system here that is going to start sliding through. It may impact northern areas more than central parts of Saskatchewan, so Prince Albert might feel a little bit of that. But we'll talk about all of those things later on.
The Saskatoon Police Service will be implementing mandatory alcohol screening in the new year. As of January 1st, drivers who are pulled over by the Saskatoon Police Service's Traffic Unit and Combined Traffic Services will be required to provide a breath sample. The authority for mandatory screenings has existed since 2018, with some jurisdictions, including the Saskatchewan RCMP, often implementing the requirement.
It is quite calming. It's one of those things that's one of our main focuses in the traffic unit because it's public safety and traffic safety. Unfortunately, it's a trend that's been going on for several years, and that is something that we have to make sure we look into and enforce for public safety.
Saskatoon police say there were 301 impaired driving charges in 2025. Free transit will be provided this New Year's Eve in Prince Albert. The city announcing the service is returning between 7:15 p.m. on the 31st to 3:15 a.m. January 1st. 6 routes will be operational, including the rush hour, all-day West and East Hill and West and East Flat routes, with buses every 30 minutes. The city says free transit on New Year's will remove barriers for those who might not otherwise celebrate the start of the new year. This ensures everyone can do it safely. Riders can track their bus using the City of Prince Albert Transit site. Healthcare is a big concern across Canada, so it's no surprise it was a major talking point in a year-end interview with Premier Scott Moe. In 2024, the first urgent care centre was opened up in Regina to relieve the overcapacity issues. The goal was to have the centre open 24 hours a day, but a year and a half later, it still hasn't happened. Now the Premier says the plan is to have the centre open during the most stressful times at emergency rooms.
I think it's more important for us now to turn our attention to when those busy times are, which aren't 1 and 2 in the morning. Those busy times are in the mornings, evenings, and throughout the day, is to really turn our focus to expanding that urgent care center model, build a second one in Regina, get 2 of those up and going. One is under construction, will be opening soon in Saskatoon, and then add another one in Prince Albert, Moose Jaw, and North Battleford to really expand the service, during those hours when that service is needed.
To hear about the other issues impacting our province, watch the Special Year in Politics episode, December 31st at 6:30. The province says more than 40 projects have already been approved through its Playground Equipment Grant program. The program began in the fall to help parents build new play facilities on school grounds. More than $2.3 million in funding has already been approved. The program is open to all parent and community groups affiliated with a publicly funded school for playground projects in school yards. The current application period runs until the last week of February. After the break, a recap of 2025. Some of the stories that resonated with people in Saskatchewan. As 2025 comes to a close, we're looking at some of the key stories in the province over the last 365 days. Sierra D'Souza Butts has more.
Tariff is a word Canadians became very aware of over the course of 2025. In response to U.S. President Donald Trump imposing tariffs on Canadian goods, Saskatchewan stopping orders of U.S. liquor for a time before taking a softer approach to the issue the rest of the year following the election of a new Prime Minister. As U.S. trade tensions simmered in the background, Mark Carney's federal election win brought about a new relationship between the provincial and federal governments.
And what I heard last night is a Prime Minister, and I'm hoping a Liberal Party that isn't giving up on Saskatchewan.
Tariffs not only coming from the United States, as China placed a major tariff on Canadian canola. Trade uncertainty, not the only pressure farmers felt, with Saskatchewan's southwest corner facing a significant drought.
It received almost no rain between April, May, and June.
A lack of rain also helping create the conditions for a brutal wildfire season in the north, displacing thousands of evacuated residents and causing destruction in areas like La Ronge and Denier Beach.
The only thing is we have no money. They just picked us off the street and took us out. I didn't bring my wallet, nothing.
In the village of Richmond, a series of arrests made headlines this year as RCMP raided the compound of the self-proclaimed Queen of Canada, Romana Didulo, and her followers. Didulo's case continues to play out in court, but her conditions prevent her from returning to the small community for now. A changing retail landscape having an impact in Saskatchewan with nationwide closures of Hudson's Bay and PV Mart.
With the affordable prices here at PV Mart, we've gotten by with managing, with feeding our animals.
But as it turns out, a comeback for PV Mart is in store for 2026 in 2 Saskatchewan communities to start. Almost as good as a name drop from a pop star. I'm moving to Saskatchewan. Or for the Riders to win their 5th Grey Cup.
We've always had the best fans in the league, and now we've got the best dang team in the league to match you guys.
Momentum the Riders hope to continue into next year. Another story in store, 20 years since the final trade that turned a Montreal man's red paperclip into a house in Kipling.
This sounds weird enough, it just might work.
Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
A detailed look at weather with Jeff when we return, and later, Americans buying Canadian drugs have pharmacists worried. So, Jeff, if I was to describe the conditions as the medieval warm period, I'd be going for a bit of a stretch. Maybe just a bit.
Is that like a torture story? Or is like when medieval and stretching? And where are you going with that one?
That's when the best art, all the best stuff happened, is during the medieval warm period.
Oh, okay, good. Because I was going to say, I think it's mostly the Renaissance, but we're not going to get into a historical debate here, young fella. The Medici family, okay. And I read The Prince last night. Sure, I did. Anyhow, we've got ourselves no princely conditions, but we've got a little bit of a system that's sliding through. But this little warm-up is going to be exactly that, little, or at least short-lived or short-lived, depending on who you talk to. Then we are getting some more Arctic air in behind it. Not nearly the nasty conditions they are experiencing out in the Great Lakes region, now into Atlantic Canada. We're talking big-time snow and wind and freezing rain. So fairly quiet on Canada's west coast. And that's maybe the northern areas of BC might see some active weather. But across the prairie provinces, we've got ourselves relatively mild conditions for another day or so, and then we get back into the cold conditions, but not brutally cold. Let me simply say that. So we can take a look at our futurecast, and as you can see, that one system sort of slides through mostly in northern areas, and then a secondary system starts to show up and making its way from Alberta towards Saskatchewan. Again, that looks like it's going to be confined to areas north of Prince Albert, and if it does show up in other areas, it'll be not as significant as the snowfall we received over the Christmas weekend. So -5 degrees for Spiritwood overnight, -1 for the Battlefords, -10 in Canada Lake, -7 in Birch Hills, -4 in Rostron, -11 in Nipawin, and -5 in Melfort. Along with the snow, these temperatures are likely going to be rising in the overnight period and then cooling off mid-afternoon tomorrow. So some of these temperatures are likely to be your 24-hour high temperatures, and they'll be a little cooler, still above seasonal, though, tomorrow afternoon. So Spiritwood, -3 for a high tomorrow, 0 in the Battlefords, -5 for Canada Lake, -6 for Nipawin, and -2 for Birch Hills, Rostron, and Melfort. And all of these locations expecting some form of snow, like light flurries. Spiritwood might see a bit more in the way of accumulation. For Prince Albert and area, so a good chance of some flurries tonight. The winds shifting around a little bit, and then winds will really start to pick up. Winds out of the northwest, 30, gusting to 50. And there is a risk, emphasis on the word risk, of freezing rain tonight. Temperatures warming up throughout the day. And then, so tomorrow, this -3 degrees, that is likely going to be around 7 in the morning. But in the mid-afternoon, around -7 degrees. So it's not going to be wicked cold, as I mentioned. Still, as the temperatures drop off, they will still remain above seasonal. -18 degrees, though, so things really do cool off on Wednesday. On New Year's Eve, we've got ourselves a chance of flurries on New Year's Eve as well. New Year's Day, -16 degrees, -17, and a slow warm-up back to seasonal values to start the year. So 2026 will be relatively seasonal when we get into the early part of the work week.
And most important, Jeff, the days start to get longer, don't they now?
They already have. They already have. Oh, man, it's like plenty of extra daylight hours.
That's exactly right. All right, thanks, Jeff. The Prince Albert Raiders are back in action tonight for Game 2 of the home-and-home with the Swift Current Broncos. The Raiders extended the Broncos' losing streak to 13 games on Saturday night.
Rocha takes some contact behind the net, gets back up, and now on the attack is the Raiders. Doobie, tight angle shot. Are you kidding me?
The Raiders put on a clinic with 3 goals in the first period, 2 in the second, and 2 in the third for a 7-1 victory. Daxon Rudolph had 2 goals, Braden Doobie had a goal and an assist, and Dimitri Fortin stopped 17 of 18 shots. The Raiders host Swift Current tonight for each team's 34th game of the season, the official halfway mark of the regular season. Team Canada is hoping to improve to 3-0 tonight at the World Junior Hockey Championship in Minnesota. Saskatchewan's only representation comes in the form of Cole Reshney, who's enjoying success in the early going.
McKenna feeds that down to Reshney, has a lane and shoots, scores! There's another reason on the power play.
The product of Macklin scored his first goal of the tournament on Saturday. Canada squeaked by with a 2-1 win in overtime against Latvia. Now the team is preparing to face Denmark tonight.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's everything I ever dreamed of. I guess the biggest dream is a gold medal now. It's just the little things. I mean, and I think you see that as the tournament goes on. You usually, improve that. And our goal is to be at our best for the final game. And just growing every game, that's a big thing for us. So, looking forward to the next game.
Denmark is still looking for its first win, the team's first appearance at the World Juniors in 6 years. Denmark has lost to Finland and Czechia already. Puck drop is 7:30 on TSN.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
Some passengers living with a disability have been speaking out against WestJet and the weight restrictions it's placed on mobility aids. Alex Karpa spoke to travelers about the impact the airline's rules are having.
Travel has always been a big part of Charisse Griffin's life. She's flown countless times with WestJet before and never had any issues. That is, up until this year. The airline's weight restriction policy for power wheelchairs has made flying much more difficult.
A lot of hassle. It's been frustrating and angry.
WestJet has a cap of 300 pounds for mobility aids on the vast majority of its aircraft. Griffin says this limit is a barrier for many power wheelchair users.
Majority of power wheelchairs like mine, are over 300 pounds.
Former MP Stephen Fletcher says he was told by an airline agent last February that they would not be able to carry his wheelchair on a flight from Winnipeg to Toronto due to its weight.
WestJet has invented a policy that discriminates.
Fletcher filed a regulatory complaint with the Canadian Transportation Agency. In a documented response, the airline said accessibility regulations allow it to refuse transport of heavier mobility aids. The document also states that power wheelchairs would, quote, jeopardize aircraft airworthiness.
That is a very serious thing to say, because if it's true, then we have an international crisis.
We reached out to WestJet to get a better explanation of their decision, but have not received a response. For Griffin, the message to the airline is simple: change the rule.
All I'm looking for is equal access so that I can fly on the same carrier that you can.
Griffin says flying is already difficult enough for her in the situation she is in, but says this rule makes it far more stressful and uncomfortable. Alex Karpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The Canadian Pharmacists Association is warning of the dangers of Americans purchasing increasing amounts of medications in Canada. Pauline Chan explains the concerns.
Americans have been coming across the border to Canada and Mexico for years, seeking cheaper medications. But recently, there's been a worrisome development.
What we've noticed more recently, of course, is that some states have developed these programs that are a little bit more bulk purchase-like. So they're not fully, state endorsed, but there's employers who are doing it.
And the concern is that bulk purchases like that could adversely affect Canadian medication supplies and aggravate shortages. Some types of medications most commonly affected by cross-border purchasing include diabetes and weight loss drugs like insulin and GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic or Wegovy, biologics, and oncology drugs. A recent study shows almost 60% of Americans suspect or even knowingly buy their medications from outside the U.S., especially from Canada.
People look to Canada because we have the similar drugs, but we also have a very safe and well-known pharmacy system.
Walker points to BC, which is able to track where drugs like Ozempic are going.
There was quite a significant amount going through a couple of pharmacies in BC down to the U.S.
It's technically not allowed, says Walker, but other provinces don't have systems to track purchasers. The Canadian Pharmacists Association would like to see the ability to track purchasers' data in all provinces.
Enforcement still remains a little bit of a difficult topic, primarily because Canadian pharmacies are regulated and the profession is regulated by regulatory authorities in each province. But if you're acting outside of that and you're not a licensed pharmacist or you're not a licensed pharmacy, technically the colleges don't really have a way to regulate you.
It adds that U.S. purchasers not only drain resources from Canadian patients, they also put an administrative burden on Canadian pharmacists and doctors as we struggle to find alternative medications. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
A familiar item in the produce section is about to get a bold new makeover.
It tastes excellent, and it's a fun product. It's a cool product. It's an interesting one to talk about, and it provides this really interesting story about science.
A California-based company, Norfolk Healthy Produce, is about to debut its genetically modified purple tomatoes in grocery stores and in seed form for home gardeners. The tomato was created by adding 2 genes from snapdragons to activate genes in tomatoes that help change the color to purple, keeping the flavor, but with more antioxidants. But some are concerned about the widespread addition of GMOs contaminating the food supply. But one group is holding up a red flag on the purple tomato, saying the widespread addition of genetically modified foods in Canada could lead to contamination of the seed supply. There you go, Jeff. Would you have one of those purple tomatoes? I think I might.
I might. It's like, but if I want my antioxidants, I'll just have some, blueberries.
That's right. There you go. Well, as we get ready for New Year's celebrations, we're also getting ready for a Lunar New Year. The Year of the Horse will begin February 17th with lots of products hitting store shelves. The horse represents strength and momentum, and right now we're still in the Year of the Snake.